This is indeed a feat marked by doggedness and resilience. As Lieutenant Colonel Oyechi and
one of the strategies.
There was mild drama as lawmakers considered the Ways and Means borrowing of 30 trillion naira under the immediate past administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. Lawmakers argue that the move has put the country in indebtedness seen today.
What the 9th National Assembly approved or ratified in terms of ways and means was not 29 or 30 trillion. It was 22. So if we have a ways and means that is 30 today, that means something happened between then and now. And it's for the National Assembly to find out what happened.
Check, I was not there, check the record. And as I said, number one, wait now, you cannot, I repeat, you cannot approve illegality. What they did was illegal. The Senate doesn't have the right. Let it be on record. I was not there. I was not there. Check the record.
Senators took turns calling for a thorough probe of 10 trillion naira anchor borrower scheme for rice farmers by the Apex Bank.
That there were a lot of intervention funds, such as the anchor borrower programs and others, that led to these ways and means, and that these are things that we need to look into, whether they were properly utilized. The expenses that we don't have details put us in the indebtedness that we have today, and therefore has affected even the ability of government to provide essential needs and services for the public.
After several hours of deliberation, the Senate resolved to probe alleged invalid $2.4 billion transaction by the CBN. The Senate, however, resolved to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate all expenditure of the past administration. Oyeda Orum, AIT News, Abuja.
Lining the major issue of the economy, the way the inflation index has been, and of course, it's of major concern to us. Now, we have deliberated amongst ourselves, the critical issues were addressed, and we believe that the next line of action is to bring in someone, the governor of Central Bank, on Tuesday at 3 o'clock to come and brief us properly on the state of the economy. That we have resolved and we will communicate to the governor of Central Bank, after which we now have a further conversation with members of the press.
The need for infrastructural development in the Northwest Zone, which was destroyed by activities of Boko Haram insurgents and armed bandits across the region, was brought on the floor of the Senate through proposed legislation to establish a specialized commission to address the challenge.
The federal government is in the right position to show concern in the face of the plethora of problems and challenges facing this geopolitical zone by creating the Northwest Commission to appropriately address the developmental needs of the zone.
The lawmakers argued that the Northwest, with the highest population of the 6 geopolitical zones in the country, would need the commission, while also calling for a similar commission in the Southeast.
During the 9th Senate, a motion and bill was presented for Southeast Development Commission, and it was totally thrown out. While we continue to support that the development of Northwest is very, very important, I want to draw the attention of my colleagues that our bill for Southeast Development Commission will be coming soon, and I want to have at the same time equity and fairness to it. Thank you.
Insecurity will be minimized if more development enters there, and educational facilities are made more available. So for us, development anywhere in this country is development everywhere.
Also at plenary, the Senate approved 706.4 billion naira budget for the Nigerian Customs Service for 2024 fiscal year and projected revenue target of 5 trillion naira.
The customs services need all that we've indicated here for optimal performance. Okay? Their inability to meet their revenue target in 2023 was because some of the equipment they needed were not just available. The 2024 budget is going to address that infrastructural deficit for optimal performance.
The nomination of Mr. Adama Oluwole Oladopo as Executive Director.
Meanwhile, the Senate confirmed the appointment of Adama Oluwole as Executive Director of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Gas Infrastructure Fund Board. Oyeda Orom, AIT News, Abuja. The chairman of the committee, Mohammed Mongono, while presenting the panel report, says the nominees possess the requisite qualification and experience to occupy the position, stressing that no petition against them were received.
There is no criminal record or adverse report found against the nominees, as record checks and other forms of investigation by relevant security agencies did not reveal any negative trace against them. The nominees possess the requisite leadership qualities required of judicial officers to exercise restraint and uphold the dignity of the court and the litigants in the discharge of their official functions.
Lawmakers took turns calling on the executive to go beyond the Court of Appeal in selecting judges for the Apex Court, while also advocating for improved funding for the sector.
The intent of the Constitution does not limit the appointment of Supreme Court justices to the Court of Appeal. And we have seen that all these justices that are being recommended for appointment to the Supreme Court are all Court of Appeal. We have scholars, eminent scholars. We have eminent practitioners of the law that are also qualified for appointment.
It's not enough to increase the number of justices. Yes, that will reduce some burden, but the burden will be less, far less actually, if they have more resources to work with.
Even the magistrates, the state courts, they're in a mess. When you go to see a judge of a state court, you will think that is coming with Okada. Is living in a midst of the people he's supposed to judge.
We pray that these confirmations will lead to speedy dispensation of justice, particularly at that echelon of the courts, where a lot of cabotage cases are still pending since 2006. It is now left to us and the House of Representatives to look at the possibility of how to stop certain matters from going to the Supreme Court.
Also at plenary, the Senate amended the 2023 Appropriation Act and the 2023 Supplementary Budget to extend the implementation year from the 31st of December 2023 to the 31st of March 2024.
The recent 2023 capital releases to MDAs are unlikely to be utilized before 31st December 2023 due to late releases of the fund, which will lapse if the capital implementation is not extended beyond the 31st day of December 2023.
The move, according to the upper chamber, will allow full utilization of the capital releases in order to help reflect the economy.